News9 Plus. Download now.
Hello and welcome. You are watching World Business Report here on News9 Live. I am Krishna Kumar. We begin with Wall Street, which has seen a meteoric rise led by technology stocks in the US as tech giants continue to redefine the landscape, propelling the stock market to unprecedented heights. We begin with a quick check of how Wall Street is at the moment as we begin this trading week.
Wall Street's main indexes ended with big gains on Friday, boosted by heavyweight tech and growth stocks and lower Treasury yields. The Dow climbed more than 1%, the S&P 500 added 1.5%, and the Nasdaq soared more than 2%, its biggest one-day percentage gain since May. The rally comes after declines in the previous session, which followed hawkish comments from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell about interest rates. That ended the longest winning streak in 2 years for the S&P 500 and Nasdaq. And Abhay Deshpande, Chief Investment Officer at Centerstone Investors, says it reflects persistent investor uncertainty in the current environment.
It's the same basic set of confusion that people have been facing, for quite some time now, right? There's this idea of maybe a recession around the corner, there's inflation, there's what's the Fed's going to do. And all of those cross currents are causing, just confusion.
Mega cap stocks that have propelled the market higher this year saw big gains Friday, with Nvidia gaining about 3% and Meta Platforms and Microsoft each adding 2.5%. Shares of Illumina dropped 8% as the genetic testing company trimmed its full-year profit forecast for the second straight quarter. On tap for next week, the closely watched Consumer Price Index report, along with data on producer prices and retail sales, which will further shape interest rate projections.
From the US to the UK, where economic uncertainty loomed large in the third quarter, with the country narrowly avoiding a recession. Despite failing to register growth, the resilience displayed by the UK economy is being touted as a silver lining amidst global economic challenges. Analysts are closely watching the data points coming out, searching for clues that could signal a robust recovery or potential pitfalls that might affect UK's own economic trajectory going forward. More details in this Reuters report.
Britain's economy failed to grow in the July to September period, but avoided the start of a recession. That's according to official figures released on Friday. Gross domestic product saw 0% change in the third quarter. It was slightly better than the 0.1% fall predicted by analysts, which many thought would represent the start of a recession. One leading market expert said the economy is not weak enough to reduce core inflation and wage growth quickly. For that reason, they expect Britain's central bank won't be able to cut interest rates until late next year. The Bank of England said last week it expected zero economic growth in 2024, but it kept interest rates at a 15-year high as it tries to fight inflation more than 3 times its 2% target. In the 3 months to September, output in Britain's huge services sector fell by 0.1% according to official figures. It also showed industrial production was broadly flat and construction slightly grew. Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt said Friday high inflation was still the main drag on growth. The weak outlook puts pressure on Hunt to come up with pro-growth measures in a budget update due later this month.
Now, away from the UK to a stunning development in China. China's largest bank or lender, in fact, the world's largest lender by assets, the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, ICBC, is in the web of a malicious ransomware attack. This cybersecurity breach has sent shockwaves through the financial sector globally, prompting urgent responses to safeguard sensitive data and maintain financial stability. As the world watches ICBC's ransomware attack Questions loom about the broader impact for global financial institutions and the imperative at the moment to bolster cyber security defenses. Take a look at this.
China's biggest lender was hit by a ransomware attack. The US arm of the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, or ICBC, became the latest victim of hackers demanding a ransom. The attack disrupted trade in the US Treasury market on Thursday. ICBC Financial Services is the US unit of China's largest commercial lender by assets. It said it was investigating the attack that disrupted some of its systems and that it was making progress towards recovering from it. The Chinese government weighed in on Friday through Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin.
According to our understanding, the ICBC has been closely monitoring the matter and has done its best in emergency response and supervisory communication to minimize the risk, impact and loss.
Wang said business was normal at ICBC head office and other branches and subsidiaries around the world. ICBC further said it had successfully cleared Treasury trades executed on Wednesday and repurchase agreements financing trades done on Thursday. But some market participants said trades going through ICBC were not settled due to the attack and affected market liquidity. Ransomware attacks often involve hackers locking a victim organisation's systems, and they demand ransom for unlocking it, while often stealing sensitive data for extortion. Several ransomware experts said a cybercrime gang named Lockbit was believed to be behind the hack. Lockbit did not respond to a request for comment. US authorities have struggled to stop a number of cybercrimes, mainly ransomware attacks, which hit hundreds of companies in nearly every industry each year.
Now, away from ICBC, now amidst economic turmoil, a Cuban watchmaker has emerged as a symbol of resilience, defying the odds and persevering in the face of adversity. Despite the challenges posed by Cuba's economic woes, this artisan's commitment to craftsmanship is a testament to the indomitable spirit of entrepreneurs navigating uncertain times. The story of this Cuban watchmaker is a compelling narrative of tenacity that can inspire you and many others to find hope in the most difficult of circumstances.
Y hemos concentrado en poner un producto a disposición de los turistas.
We focused on a product for tourists that can be produced with materials found in our surroundings, either wood, parts of glass, movements from clients' clocks that have been turned down, and leather producers do the bands using leathers that are left over.
A partir de las pieles que sobran en el productor de cintos y carteras, nos hace las manillas para estos artículos.
After a grueling 118 days of strike, the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, or SAG-AFTRA, is celebrating the resolution of their strike. The Hollywood entertainment industry breathes a collective sigh of relief as actors and performers struck a deal with studios and returned to work, bringing an end to a protracted standoff. The resolution marks a significant moment for Hollywood, prompting reflection on the power dynamics between talent and studios.
Among the gains members will enjoy in this new contract cycle are: 1, more than $1 billion in new wages and benefit plan funding; a streaming participation bonus for performers who work on shows in streaming that become successful; minimum compensation increases that break the so-called industry pattern and help our members keep up with the harm that's been caused by inflation. And for the first time, consent, informed consent, and fair compensation guardrails will be in place around the use of artificial intelligence in our industry. And so in 2024, when IATSE, the AFM, and the Teamsters enter their negotiations, SAG-AFTRA members look forward to rallying behind their fight for their own fair contracts. And while SAG-AFTRA's new contract has protections around AI, legislators still need to make AI protections a priority, and intellectual property enforcement also a matter of public policy.
Yeah, okay, they want this here.
Right, that's as far as Hollywood is concerned. Bear in mind, these actors are also demanding what they're demanding because of the influx of artificial intelligence into artistry. Away from movies to the music industry, which is buzzing with excitement as the nominations for the 2024 Grammy Awards have been unveiled and SZA has emerged as a front-runner. The acclaimed artist's groundbreaking work has earned her multiple nominations, solidifying her status as a trailblazer in the contemporary music category. Now, as anticipation builds for the prestigious awards night of the Grammys, fans and industry insiders are eagerly waiting to see if SZA will take home the coveted trophies.
Recording artist SZA leads the pack for this year's Grammy nominations, which were announced on Friday. SZA's 9 nominations span multiple genres and include Album, Record, and Song of the Year for her hit Kill Bill. Other contenders for top album include industry heavyweights Miley Cyrus, Olivia Rodrigo, and Taylor Swift.
Grammys night is going to be ladies' night.
Yahoo Music editor-in-chief Lindsay Parker says it's a female-dominated year.
2 of the big 4 categories, the biggest actual categories of the entire Grammys, Album and Record of the Year, there's 8 nominations in each category, and 7 out of each are female. 7 out of the 8 in each of the categories. Only Jon Batiste, who's like a real Academy darling, is like the male outlier in both those categories.
Victoria Monet followed closely behind SZA with 7 nominations. They include Best New Artist, Record of the Year, and Best R&B Song for On My Mama. Phoebe Bridgers, Billie Eilish, and Swift also received multiple nods. 12-time winner Swift has dominated headlines this year with her sold-out concert tour and movie documenting the shows. Greta Gerwig's motion picture Barbie is up for a number of nominations for Best Song Written for Visual Media category.
Right, women power at Grammys 2024. Keeping it with music, the Beatles are back on top of the charts in the UK all over again. Now and then, their timeless track has resurfaced to claim the top spot on UK charts. Decades after its initial release, the enduring appeal of the iconic band and the song continues to captivate audiences, proving that great music always stands the test of time. This resurgence not only pays homage to the Beatles' unparalleled legacy, but also underscores the timeless quality of their musical contributions. Right, artificial intelligence bringing Beatles back to life. It's like time travel, literally, but keeping it with music again. The haunting melodies of the famous series from Netflix, Squid Game, have resonated globally, but behind the scenes, the composer of that music grappled with the challenge of scoring music for the show's visceral and gory scenes. And in an exclusive interview, that composer shed light on his creative process, sharing insights into the emotional toll of crafting a musical score that complements gory visuals of this global hit series. And this revelation offers a unique perspective on the intersection of art and emotions in the realm of entertainment.
I had a collaborator whose name is 23 and Park Min-ju. So for scenes that has too many blood, I asked them to compose that scene. Squid Game, well, to be honest, Squid Game was, Squid Game #1 was the first series for me. I've been doing 2 hours of films, but it's 8 hours film. It really panicked me.
Right, so that's as far as scoring music for Squid Game is concerned, because bear in mind, the same composer also scored music for the Oscar award-winning South Korean film Parasite as well. And as he himself acknowledged, Squid Game was his first series, and I was a fan of Squid Game. I'm sure the entire world is waiting for Squid Game Season 2. But moving on here, away from music, but keeping it with what is coming out as far as big stories globally this week is concerned. Take a look at this Reuters report that tells you all the big headlines to look out for in the week going forward.
From a Hollywood ending for striking actors to Tesla's plan for an affordable vehicle. This is the week in numbers. 118 days was how long Hollywood actors were on strike for, but that ended this week. A deal worth more than $1 billion was struck between the SAG-AFTRA union and major studios. The union's chief negotiator, Duncan Crabtree Ireland, said it will make a big difference for actors.
That's by far the largest set of gains we've ever achieved in a contract negotiation. And there's really important protections built into this contract around things such as artificial intelligence protections, and also including making sure that now there is a stream of revenue coming off of the streaming business that can actually sustain middle-class actors who are trying to make a career in streaming.
$21 billion was Disney's revenue in the third quarter. Tourists flocked to its venues, while cost cuts and 7 million new subscribers on the Disney Plus streaming site also helped. That offset a drop in ad revenue for Disney-owned TV stations. $5.2 billion was the quarterly loss for SoftBank. A huge investment in one-time startup leader WeWork didn't work out for the Japanese group. WeWork, once valued at $47 billion, filed for bankruptcy this week. 9% was the drop in Bumble's share price on Monday. Investors swiped left on the dating app stock. On the news, founder Whitney Wolfe Herd is stepping down as CEO. Slack boss Lidiane Jones is lined up to take over. $27,000, or more precisely €25,000, is the planned European price tag for a new Tesla model. A Reuters source added it will be built at Tesla's Berlin factory. The move towards a more affordable car is a long-awaited development for the EV giant.
Right, even as we wait for Tesla to enter the Indian market, let's take a look at what's going on around the world in terms of fresh insights as far as China's economic malaise is concerned. And what are the stories from the world of business and finance for the week ahead? More on this.
From inflation under the microscope to fresh insight on China's economic malaise, these are the stories to watch in business and finance. U.S. inflation data comes out on Tuesday. Federal Reserve policymakers, including boss Jerome Powell, say they're not sure interest rates are high enough yet to curb inflation. Traders have been banking on roughly 3 quarter-point rate cuts next year. October's consumer price index could confirm if their view is the right one. Wednesday's retail sales and industrial production data in China could reveal if lukewarm consumption and slowing factories are persistent trends. China's central bank and the IMF insist a 5% growth target can still be achieved. But government measures to boost the economy have fallen flat this year, all as worries about China's property sector continue to loom large. Britain's latest CPI data is due on Wednesday and will shed light on efforts to tackle inflation. It's been stickier than in most developed economies. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak pledged to halve inflation to 5% by the end of this year. While a fall from September's 6.7% is likely, we'll see how close Sunak is to reaching his goal. And Italy will get its latest review from ratings agency Moody's on Friday. Investors are worried about fiscal risks there, and have been steering clear of big exposure to the Eurozone's third largest economy. Moody's currently rates Italy just one notch above junk with a negative outlook.
In a poignant tribute, UK's King Charles and Prime Minister Rishi Sunak united to lead the nation on Remembrance Day. And that's all we have time for in this edition of World Business Report. Thank you so much for watching. With that, it's a wrap here.
They picked my husband. He was tortured there for 2 years. He was enforced disappeared. We had no idea where he is. Within 15 minutes,